it would have been nice to grab Upshaw, especially if we knew that New Jersey was going to do that. But anyways, I think we're done with the offseason here now. We're ready to go. The Pirates have been assembled. And let's see how the roster looks.
McDavid moves in. McDavid goes upstairs. What a goal!
Hey guys, how's it going? It's Etanyos here. Welcome to episode number 2 of this NHL 21 No First Rounders franchise mode here with the Milwaukee Pirates. If you guys have missed any episodes or missed the first episode, make sure that you go up into this top corner of the video right now. There will be a card with a link so you can go back and watch that other video and make sure you're caught up and up to date before you leave comments, drop a like, maybe even sub if you haven't yet, do all that good stuff just to make sure you're caught up on this new series. So anyways, last episode I left you guys with the question of who should we sign for not just free agents but top end free agents, because of course this first offseason has George Whitney, Rick Summers, and Harry Upshaw. So 3 guys there that are just going to be fantastic players. We can only get one. I mean, I have thought of a bit of a loophole here where it's like if another team signs one of those guys and they, for say want to trade them, we could be allowed to trade for them, especially with the pick value that we have right now for first rounders. So, I mean, the first rounders literally aren't going to matter, but we do need to get into comments here too, because there was a ton of feedback on the last video, which I am so thankful for. And again, I'm going to leave you guys with questions from this video. So, getting through the comments here, I asked you guys what should we do for signings here for these top players. I think we had, let me count them out and see how many of you decided to say go for the center and how many said go for the defenseman. All right, so it seemed to be about, I would say almost, it was close to 50-50. It wasn't quite 50-50, but the decision was swaying towards the center, which I find interesting because you guys are saying get the center, and I'm like, I don't know if I can. We're going to try to. But the backup option, of course, is Rick Summers, and that was the comment here. Drayden Pletz said, get Rick Summers. You just drafted a center in the draft. So defense would be best. George Whitney wouldn't be terrible to play with Getzel, but I think Rick Summers is a better player to pick here. So that's an interesting one. Other comments said, like, get the center. Arvid said, get the center. Goalies are more common in later rounds, and franchise center is better than a franchise defenseman. I don't know if I entirely agree with that comment, but honestly, franchise centers are insane. They're super good for your team, but when you look at teams that win the cup, they usually have a top-end defenseman on the team too. So that would, again, that's why I'm not going to be upset if we have to go get Rick Summers. Duke Storm said, I feel like George is going to be the best option, so George Whitney, but it would be really hard to get him, so probably go for the safe pick in Summers and maybe snag, he said, maybe snag Pug Colson from Vancouver. Unfortunately, we can't do that because he is a first-round selected player. He's selected 10th overall by Vancouver in 2019, so unfortunately, we can't go get him. And then kind of just to round off this comment frenzy, because there were honestly so many. I think you guys got up to almost 20 comments on this video. But to round off the comment frenzy, we have Philippe LeBanc transitioning here, saying trade your first before your team gets better and makes the playoffs because you have a franchise player to pick. So trade some of your first for guys that are around 24 years old and are good right now. So he says around 24 years old. I find that interesting because I don't think that is exactly what we're going to go for. I think we're going to go for a little more experience. And like the main guy I would love to go out and get would be Mark Stone. I don't know if we're going to be able to pull him or not, as he is a $9.3 million contract, but I think we could sway that trade with some picks if we do it right. I'm just looking through here at other guys that, could be good players, that aren't first-round selections. There are a lot of first-round selections. Obviously, I would love to go over to a team like Tampa I don't think we're going to be able to do it, but if we could go to Tampa and somehow snag Braden Point, like, oh my God, can you imagine a line of Point, Getzel, and Stone? Like, that would be insane. I don't think it would work, but I just don't see how we'd be able to pull off trades there. But again, there's no rules on how many picks we can trade. We do want to kind of hold on to all our other picks apart from the first rounders, but I think starting off here, we're going to go out and we're going to offer George Whitney a contract. I don't think he's going to sign here, to be completely honest, but if he does, man, that would be gorgeous. Two other teams are interested in him with Dallas and Montreal, so we're going to start with George Whitney. Again, if he, for whatever reason, doesn't sign here, which there are probably a lot of reasons, then we have the option to go out and get Rick Summers. And honestly, guys, I'm going to go out and in case we do get George Whitney, I'm also going to go out and offer Dustin Byfuglien a contract. So it's going to be a single-year contract, which is fine. I'm totally okay with that. But we're going to offer him essentially the whole deal here, $5.5 million, which is exactly what we have. Goalies, I'm not super, interested in, to be completely honest. We could try to go out and get a guy like Freddie Anderson. We'd have to make some trades and move some players around. Freddie Anderson being 30 years old already too isn't exactly spectacular. I would prefer to, rather get a guy like Olmark or Binnington. Binnington would be sick, actually. I would not be upset with Jordan Binnington by any means, as he is 26, so that's not bad. Binnington's an option there, honestly, at 26. So we could move goalies in trades too. That's another option. But let's try to propose some trades now, just to clear up a little bit of cap space, see what we can do. So that first trade I'm going to try and go for is Mark Stone. I would love to pull him off of the Vegas Golden Knights. I just don't know if we're going to be able to do it with the amount of players and value we have here. So if we're moving a forward, we don't have a lot of forward value apart from Getzel right now, so that's what I'm trying to improve on. Sokolov obviously going to be a player that we grow for the future, but value-wise, I would love to move Anderson just as a money move, and then if we could just do a first, the value's equal there. If we could just do a first, I would love it. I don't think it's going to work. So trade rejected, no value there whatsoever, apparently. So no value whatsoever. I find that interesting. Saros, honestly, Saros is such a good contract. I don't think we're going to have to do anything there. I think our goalies are honestly set. I was peaking at goalies. I don't think we really need to worry about it. So we're going to try to move as far into the future as we can on picks here. And it looks like a 2026 first rounder would be the closest option. But man, if all we have to trade is 2 firsts and Josh Anderson in exchange for Mark Stone on a 6-year deal, oh man, I would love to have Mark Stone till he's 34. He's an elite player, and man, as a winger, does it go through? Yes, it does. Mark Stone, welcome to the Milwaukee Pirates. And we're just going to hold off now, okay? We're just going to hold off for a minute. Maybe not, actually, because we just spent a lot more money to get Stone. So that might be a slight issue. So who's our next highest valued player after Getzel, obviously? Nyquist, Gustafsson, Cirelli, Saad. Victor Rask is going to be a guy that we're going to have to move. So if we can move Rask and maybe... who else is expensive in here? Shillington's not too bad, actually. Who's not worth the bang for their buck? I was honestly thinking maybe Brandon Saad might be the other guy that we're going to have to move because he could be like a top 6 forward. Unfortunately, he's a two-way, so that's just going to screw things up, to be completely honest. Cirelli, too, when we're being, transparent about this. So if we could go Saad and Rask in a trade to clear up that cap space to maybe get Byfuglien, or maybe if we're bringing in Byfuglien, what else do we have for defense? Our defensive money guys. Shillington's actually the second highest paid defenseman on our team right now. That's a little ridiculous in my opinion, but that's okay. So if we could move, it might have to be Shillington. I hate to say it, like, he is an offensive defenseman. I think he'd be great with this team, but if we have to move Gustafsson, that's not the biggest deal. That's $5 million off the books just like that. So if we go Gustafsson and Rask, that's another $9 million. And obviously Tampa can't accept that yet. But Braden Point is $5.9 million for another year. And oh my goodness gracious, if we could get Braden Point off of the Tampa Bay Lightning, I think this team would be set for the future. Like, holy crap. And even if we do somehow manage to get Whitney, which might happen. Oh, see, that's the issue, though. Is that the only issue that we're facing at all right now is that we are a little tight on cap space, and I'm not sure who to move. That's the only problem that I'm looking at right now with this team and the contracts, and trying to sign Byfuglien as well as like one or two other guys, because we're not certain yet if we're getting Whitney. I can't guarantee that. And if we move $9 million, get 5 back, it's still not enough to pay for Byfuglien. So I mean, we can go through with this. It's not the best deal for Tampa necessarily, but who cares? We're literally going to go through and rip some teams off and say, hey, we seem like trash. Here's our first. We don't care about them. Give us your best player. Like that kind of thing. So, we could even, oh my gosh, we could go so far. So we can go so far into the future to trade picks because there's no rule or limit on that. If we can get Braden Point, man, I still want to do this either way. Like, I would love to get Kucherov, but there's just no way. He's 27, not going to fit very well, versus Braden Point being a high elite at 24 years old. I mean, we could try one. Try one first. That's a little more equal in value, but obviously that's not going to go. We have to sway the deal in their favor just to get them to bite, and I'm totally okay with that, especially if it means that we're giving up a first-round pick in 2025. Like, who cares about 2025 right now, right? It's 2020 in this game still. Ooh, we really have to make it worth it for them. So I find that interesting, but that is okay. We have skaters who match their block. And the guy I would be most willing to move, I want to say it would be Sprong, but it might be Gambrell. Is he a playmaker, though? No, he's a two-way. I don't know. At 23, Gambrell still could totally make the team. Versus if we shipped off a guy like, Johns, maybe? I don't think they're going to take this, but they might. We just got Braden Point for literally Steven Johns, Victor Rask, Eric Gustafsson, and 2 firsts. I mean, this is insane, don't get me wrong, but the trade value is also on, I believe, Medium right now. There was no comments on that. I asked you guys what to say. Anyways, we're stacking the team a little bit, but that's okay. Because, again, we want this team to be competitive. We don't want them to be finishing dead last in the league. We want to have our picks not all over the place, but trade difficulty is medium there, guys. You can see it. If you think I have to up it to hard, which, I mean, it's almost impossible to make trades once you're on hard trade difficulty. But now we got Braden Point, Mark Stone, and Jake Getzel in the forward group. You guys were saying it's not worth it to get the defenseman, but I think it is now, especially with the forwards we've just been able to pull off of trades. So wait, how is our cap space doing? That's the only thing that I need $5.5 million on. We're not quite there. We're very close. We are very, very close. But we are also paying our top guys lots of money. Gustav Nyquist is $5.5 million as not an elite player, which is the only thing I am a little bit worried about. But then again, Nyquist is a great player still. He's not small by any means. He's 5'11". He's not like some of these other guys, but who are we gonna move? I think it's gonna be Ryan Dzingel. As much as I hate to say that, like I know him and Stone played together. He's got less term, more age. Like it's, and we have other wingers that can replace him. So Ryan Dzingel, let's actually just go use the trade finder to move him. And then once we move him, that should be fine. We should be good on cap space once we move him. We're essentially just going to try to get, picks back, I think. So I'll take 2/3 off of Winnipeg. That's fine. So this is the third trade we're making this episode. Or I guess this season. No, this is the fourth trade we'll be making this season. Again, cap space related trade more than anything. I know we could be getting better value in this deal, but that's okay. I'll take it. I believe it was 5 trades per season. Yep, 5 trades a season. So this is our start there, and there you go. We ship off Ryan Dzingel for cap space reasons, and all of a sudden we are now a conservative buyer for a team. But let's see. I might find it difficult to get George Whitney to, like, if George Whitney signs with the team, great, but also a bit of an issue because we just went out and made those moves. So maybe we'll see what happens with Rick Summers, and maybe we'll make another move to trade for him. I don't want to trade Cizikas to Minnesota. And is Whitney going to sign here? I would be a little shocked if he does. Dustin Byfuglien signs. Oh my goodness, we got George Whitney too. So this team is shaping up quite nicely, I will say. And all of a sudden, Rick Summers is interested in by Winnipeg. Okay. All right. Harry Upshall, nobody yet. So we're going to keep advancing day by day. Hopefully Summers signs with Winnipeg, and then if we can get him onto this team, I would love to. I would love to get the franchise defenseman on this team. So we're trying to loophole this a bit, but I think it's going to, entertainment-wise, this team is going to be an absolute freaking powerhouse if we are able to see a trade go down that brings Summers to the Pirates. So Summers has signed. He is landed in Winnipeg. And goaltender-wise, Upshall's still there. Okay, if Upshall's not signed by the start of the season, we're going after him. Okay, that's the only thing I'm going to try to do here. So let's go propose a trade with the Winnipeg Jets. I would love to get Rick Summers on this team. He's got to be on a 3-year entry level. Yep, which he is. All right, so for Rick Summers, literally the best player on Winnipeg already, value-wise, I will move Big Buff in exchange. I would move Big Buff. Maybe not Big Buff, actually, when I think about it. He's max value. Like, he is as much freaking value as we can possibly trade. And there you go. The value's right down on our picks. So no surprise there, really, as we were able to land a ton of great players. But we're running out of value here, unfortunately, which is probably going to be how things go. But that's all right, because this team is so freaking stacked. So yeah, George Whitney, either way, is going to go down as one of the best players in the league. It's going to have to be Byfuglien, and even then, Winnipeg's over the max cap. Shoot. Okay, who's a bad contract here? Like nobody. Brian Little. Nope. First round pick. Neil Pionk. Ooh, Neil Pionk, man. I wish. Too much value again. Dylan DeMello. Yeah, Dylan DeMello is a guy that we could definitely make the move for. That's got to be enough value, man. I mean, not enough value, but enough cap space anyways. You're kidding me, right? Do they have like 0 freaking cap space? They have 1.7 mil in cap. That's annoying. And they're all like first round pick players too. Oh, we're not going to get Summers. Oh. Can we move Brendan Gooley in this deal too? Please. Come on. So that's just too bad. We're missing out. I mean, we still get a franchise center, don't get me wrong. But having a 6'4", 225 Rick Summers on this team would have been so nice. The only other player I can think of for defensemen that I would want to go after that might take a deal is John Klingberg of the Dallas Stars. That's the only other guy I think that we would go after. Because there's just not very many late round steals for defensemen when you look through here. Like, yeah, maybe Slavin. Slavin would be a good defenseman, yeah. But I also don't like that he fits every defensive pairing either. That's the other thing that's a little freaking me out right now. We need to get the forwards fitted as well as the defense. Because I just don't know what our coach is playing right now. I don't think he's a forward coach. Yeah, he's a generalist, so that's not great. Yeah, pinch and balance. That's not great. Okay. So I think what we're going to do right now is we're just going to fire the goalie coach in the AHL. You'll see what I'm doing here in a second. This guy plays a much more likely style of what we're going to use with this team, but I think we do want to mainly build around the forwards if we can. I know I would like to get defensemen too, but I just don't know how the team entirely is going to fit. So let's try making a trade work here. See if Klingberg fits with this team. Like, I guarantee you now, Slavin is not going to fit. Or maybe he is. I doubt that. Either way, I would rather have like an elite kind of guy here. What? Oh, that's, never mind. I was like, Brady Shea's 80 rated? What? He's not. Like, just nobody else has defensemen that are like out of the first round, or not out of the first round. Oof, maybe Alexander Romanov? That could work. Man, can you imagine? Oh, if we could pull Romanov. That would be so, so nice. We'd have to make room for him a little bit on this roster, but it would be worth it, I think. And if he's a second rounder and Montreal's literally getting 2 first round picks back for him, plus like Capobianco, who's again a top 4 potential, he is older, he's 22 and a lot lower rated, but 38th overall, he's not a first round pick. Do we get Alexander Romanov? Can we get him, or is it impossible because he's an elite defenseman? Might be impossible. Very well might be. But I would love to get him as a prospect defenseman. That would be so nice. And does Montreal have cap space? They do. Isn't that, extraordinary? Winnipeg. Anyways, so we stole George Whitney away from them, and now we might steal Alexander Romanov away from them too. It's 2 prospect defensemen for another prospect defenseman and 2 first to add to the value. Trade accepted. Oh my goodness. Okay. So Romanov is there for the future. He's 20 years old. He's a great player to add on to this team for the future especially. I'm so excited to see what Romanov can do. But I think we're set now. I think the team is set up. We're good to go as far as, we really have some high value players in here. Dustin Byfuglien might just get the C in his first year. That would be interesting, to say the least. And then I don't know after that. Maybe Mark Stone, maybe Braden Point. Whoever takes on the presence, I think we're definitely going to watch the morale a little bit. But yeah, Byfuglien at 35, he's won a cup. He knows what you have to do. I mean, Braden Point's won a cup at this point too. Jake Getzel's won a cup. Who else has won a cup in here? Cirelli. Did Saad win one with Chicago? He might have. He very well might have. He was on the 2015 Hawks. Yeah, he totally did. Who else? Sanford won one with St. Louis. Carlo's won one with... Has Carlo won one with Boston? No, but he's been to the Cup Finals. There's got to be a couple. Maybe there isn't another guy on here. Maybe I follow. He's 26 already. So yeah, he was probably there in LA. Oh, nope, never mind. 2018. Okay. So anyways, definitely some Stanley Cup experience on this team, but we are a total buyer now. There's no question about that. And, I mean, we're going to sim up to the next season here because... We're going to sim up to the 30th, and if, for whatever reason, like I said, if for whatever reason Harry Upshall is not signed, then we'll go after him. I know that's kind of breaking my rule, but, man, if you leave an 88 rated goalie unsigned, some team's going to pick him up, and we're going to make the Pirates that some team if nobody takes him, so... I mean, we're getting through August here, getting some offers for Shenishin, which, again, we don't want him. We don't want Lapierre. We don't want any of those guys. I want to hold on to Casey Cizikas. And is Upshall available? Probably not. But you never know. And, let's see. Vrana's still there. That's crazy. And Upshall is not there. Okay. So who signed him? Who gets the franchise goalie? That is what I'm interested in now. So let's go check it out. See who might potentially have this goalie on their hands. It's probably going to be like Anaheim, of course. That would be how it goes. No? Okay, that's good. Please be a team that actually needed a franchise goalie. I mean, Edmonton would be a great fit for him. Man, if Edmonton went out and got him, I'll be so happy because they need a goalie. Detroit, no, come on, Oilers. No, they've got no goaltending. Yikes. Where is he? There he is. New Jersey. New Jersey. What did you do? You went and spent $5.25 million on too many goalies? That is a mistake, in my opinion. They should not have done that, because that just makes no sense. I mean, Saros for $4 million is a steal, but literally nobody else makes sense. Hey, you want to go Saros in a second for Upshall? No? Okay. Makes sense. I wouldn't do that either. What if we did our second rounder next year? More value somewhere. Not Romanov. No. We're not doing that. I already made all our trades. I've done 5 trades. I can't literally do any more. I'm just playing around now. But... it would have been nice to grab Upshall, especially if we knew that New Jersey was going to do that. But anyways, I think we're done with the offseason here now. We're ready to go. The Pirates have been assembled. And let's see how the roster looks. All right, guys. So here are the lines. Definitely some issues, but I think there's a ton of potential in this lineup, and I think it's going to be scary how good this team gets very quick. So... let me just go to edit lines for now. For now, I'm going to talk you guys through this. So this is what they're looking like. I've played around with them a little bit. But yeah, just my goodness, what a team so far. I originally had Duclair up on the top line, but then I realized that Braden Point and Jake Getzler, both 5'10 and 5'11, that they need some size on that line. So I decided to toss Sanford up there. Probably not the best decision. Sanford is definitely a better fit, along with a guy like Sorelli and actually Brown as well. So Connor Brown fits quite nicely in there too. So we'll probably just keep those guys together if this goes the way I'm expecting it to. But we definitely have to make a couple more moves with this team still, as far as signings go and different things like that. Honestly, Brendan Saad, not a terrible option there either, but just not exactly what we're looking for, if you feel what I'm saying. And then there's the defense. So not spectacular, but again, lots of potential. A +5 pairing with Bear and Carlo is probably going to stick. That is going to be the pairing we play until those two guys, who were both drafted in 2015 as well, until those two guys decide to call it quits and retire. We're going to keep them on, and we're going to try to keep that +5 pairing together as long as possible. And then we have Jake McCabe, who is an absolute no fit with this team at all. Troy Stetcher, on the other hand, great option for this team. And Dustin Byfuglien as well. Doesn't exactly fit, but about as close as you're going to get. And an absolute unit, 6'5", 260 pounds. Yeah, he's scary. So, right now we've got Brendan Gooley up top on that pairing. Again, another just no-show, no-fitter, really. So we'll probably have to trade him eventually. And then Saros in net, Demko as the backup. We're not touching that. I'm quite happy with that goaltending tandem. And that is it for the team here. When we go to the AHL, there are issues. So right now, Sokolov's on the second line. I mean, that's where he's going to stick with the AHL team anyways. But we definitely need to go and just expand the depth on this team to start. So we're going to need, literally 2 full lines of AHL players, and we're going to need 5 defensemen. But options for that as well can consist of potentially moving guys like Gooley or McCabe down. Those are definitely options. And then even like scratch players too. We can, fit it so that guys just fit better. Like Janmark, we could probably keep up. And I mean, when you look at the system, right, we need a pinch and cycle for our current coach. Alexander Romanov is a pinch and cycle. So there's options like that there, or we could let him sit and develop in the AHL. That's another option, but I would love to bring him up potentially. But that's where I need your guys' help, because I don't know exactly how we're going to finish this off here this episode. So I need your comments as well, but let's go to the captains and jerseys here just to kind of finish this off. So the game originally had Mark Stone as the captain. Do I agree with that? Not yet. Reason being, he hasn't actually won a cup. That's why we're going to give Big Buff the C for this first year. Dustin Byfuglien going to be the captain for now, okay? That is a definite for now statement. George Whitney might be a name that we reconsider a little bit further down the line after a Dustin Byfuglien retirement or trade or something like that. Mark Stone, I want to keep on. Braden Point, I want to keep on. These guys are going to be big names in potentially getting us a Stanley Cup. And man, if we can build around a line of George Whitney and Mark Stone in the future too, like, sign me up. I want to watch these guys play. I want to watch Whitney, who is an absolute offensive threat all over the ice. I want to watch him play alongside guys like Nyquist and Stone on a +5 chemistry, because that's a 93 rated player right there. Like, that is worth the game right now and the challenge. That is worth it. But we do have to solve some issues. And I want to show you guys the free agents available too. So that's the other thing to end this off is who are we getting? Who are we going out to sign? Because when you look money-wise, a guy like David Savard would very much be worth the money right now for a 6'2", 227-pound defender at just $2.4 million. I think he's worth it. I totally think he's going to be a good option for us to potentially get. The only other name in here that I was super interested in, or the other names with an S, I was super interested in, were guys like Sheary and maybe Simmons. Yeah, Simmons would be good. Simmons would be really good. Okay, we got to go down name by name now because this is a pain in the ass. Connor Sheary. Connor Sheary I would love to get as well as an undrafted player. Hinostroza I would love to get, but again, lots of playmakers. Probably looking for some more power forward-esque players. Don't know if we'll find too many, and again, that's why I want to go for Simmons. Tim Heed could be an option too, especially in the AHL, right? For that kind of money, I think so. So, we need 5 defensemen, and we need 6 forwards for the AHL. I need your guys' thoughts on, do we go out and get Savard or Simmons or Sheary or all of them? Because we'd be close. I think we could get 2 out of those 3. And in my opinion, it would be Savard and Simmons. I'm not set on that yet. I want to get Simmons. But the other thing we do have to very much consider is just making sure that we fill out the team, right? So cheap contracts preferably. Players that are going to be all right with the fit. So like a Justin Dowling, I would love to get him. He would be a good option. For defense, who do we got there? Mike Riley. Sure, let's go with Mike Riley. We know he's going to fit. Besides that, Nygaard, maybe not. Tim Heed, yes, I think so. I think Tim Heed would be a good option, so that's 2 defensemen. Who else is in here? Honka, we cannot get. Again, remember, this is still a no first-round pick, so Riley Sheahan's off the board. That's funny. Carl Alsner's off the board, right? 5th overall pick in 2007. That's crazy. Brandon Davidson, maybe not. We could probably get him. I think he would be a good option. So we'll offer him a deal. Matt Luff would actually be a really good option, I think. So we'll go for him at 23 years old. Anybody else that's kind of like young and could be good. That's what we're looking for. I don't think there's a lot though. Looking more so for top 6 guys like Connor Carrick, again, would be another good option. That's 5, 6 contracts offered. We've offered 3 defensemen, maybe 4. 4 defensemen. And a right winger and a center, I think. Yeah, and a center in Dowling. Okay. So I think that's all we're going to do for now. We're not going to advance any further. And, you know, we should get those guys. They're free agents. They're going to be available. And then we have the draft class to look at too, where, you know, hopefully we can get some steals, avoid first-round players. Oh my goodness, that's a franchise defenseman in Vyacheslav Bobrovsky. And we're going to miss out on him. We're not going to even get a shot at him. Of course Bobrovsky's going to exist. Just to troll me. Man, come on. That's so mean. And Wallsted's a franchise goalie in there too, I'm pretty sure. But not going to lie. Luke Mittelstadt might not be a terrible pick. No idea who Marshall Slaney is, but he could possibly be good. And yeah, just who knows, like with this draft, right? Like the drafts are going to be interesting here for a couple seasons. Gustavo Greer, another name to watch for goaltenders. Trevor Wong got nerfed potential-wise, which is hilarious because he used to be an elite. Or maybe Sadikov too. I don't know. So that's the draft. And yeah, again, guys, go down below. Leave your comments for what you think for who we should sign. Do we get Savard and Simmons? Simmons and Sheary, or Sheary and Savard? I know 3 S's there. But let me know. And also give me a little bit of feedback on the lineup and what you think. Or, the captains, who you think should be wearing the letters. If we should give one to George Whitney right away. I don't know if I agree with that entirely. Also, I do want to show you guys what some of these players look like, especially the new guys. Like George Whitney, literally just went out and signed him. Or we just went out and signed him, and he's an 88 rated franchise player. If he turns into something here, like this is what he looks like. Excuse the dog in the background. If George Whitney turns into the face of this franchise, he's probably going to be getting the letter, or a letter. But we've got guys like Braden Point in uniform here, which is awesome. I'm super happy to have these guys. And man, this team's going to be so good. Like, look at this. Look at this team, man. Like, if we're going to have Bufflin in here, if we're going to have, like, oh, man, we're going to be good. We're going to be good first season. There's no question. But, yeah, having guys like, George Whitney, having guys like Mark Stone, right? Having anybody of that kind of caliber on this roster just makes us so much more deadly as a team, because there's high-skilled players mixed with bigger body players like Mark Stone, man. Oh, he's going to be great. I'm so excited to see what we can do with him. I wish his hair was longer, because in all honesty, he has grown his hair right out for the playoffs this year, and he looks sick. Like, he's such a hockey captain, such a hockey guy in Vegas now. I'm glad we were able to absolutely chintz Vegas out of Mark Stone for now, but yeah, he's gonna be a name that sticks around for a while. Braden Point, another great guy that's hopefully gonna light it up for us, hopefully gonna put up a ton of points. We're gonna get some power plays together. I'm super excited for it, but I need your guys' feedback before we get through a season. Because this team definitely needs some work still. But man, it's going to be a good team once we get it all figured out. So anyways, guys, that is where we are going to be wrapping it up for this video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure that you go down below, drop a like on the video. Only takes a second, really helps out the channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. We're on our way to 1,300 subscribers, and I know you guys are going to hit that soon. And also, if you guys haven't gone and checked out the merch, again, link will be down below. Go check out my website there, and also feel free to hit the notification bell so you never miss when these videos come out. And also feel free to leave your comments so that you possibly get featured next episode, because we're going to be going through all of that. And yeah, that's going to be it for me. This is Etanyos signing out, and see ya.